You are listening to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where illumination and inspiration is but a click away. With so many genre topics for you on everything that you need to know in life. We celebrate and share the people who have taken the journey before you and who are now here to serve you with their wisdom and their knowledge. The next show coming up is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sara's View of Life. I'm your host, Sara Troy, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. Spring has sprung. It's amazing how it changes our perception. Sometimes things that feel a little hopeless start becoming hopeful. Little ray of sunshine, things coming into bloom. That sense of new growth, new beginnings, has an effect on us in whatever we're doing. New beginnings. Why do we always seek them? When we get them and we grow them, do we tire of them and wait for another new beginning? Or is it just a new perspective or a new injection of something in something that we're already doing, that we already love? No matter what it is, spring is a time to spring into action. I love spring because I love seeing things grow. All the dead trees in front of me that were looking stark and grey and barren, looking like no life would come back into them again. And you start seeing all the leaves grow, all the colour come to be. You see them swaying in the wind, the sunlight reflecting on them, all the blossom trees coming into bloom, buds coming from a barren land. And it is that sense that no matter what, things will always grow again. Things will always find a way to survive. There is always a chance at a new beginning. I've had a lot of new beginnings in my 64 years. I hope to have a lot more new beginnings in my next 30 years. But it's always a sense of something that taking off that winter coat, taking off something you were building, something you were seeding, watering, and waiting to see the growth on. There's something about spring where it ignites that energy into a new growth. My favorite seasons are fall, not because it's the end of summer, but the colors, how everything turns to most beautiful yellows and oranges and burgundies and a richness of warmth that is there. But the next will be spring, how everything comes alive again. It's amazing how you can walk down a path and a few weeks later come back. One moment it's dead and you think, no way anything's going to grow here again. The next thing you come back and it's flush and abundant in growth. Lawns have a way of doing that, don't they? You look at the lawn through the winter and it looks trodden and dry and crunchy and ugh. And then we get a little bit of rain and some sunlight and we cut off all that dead stuff, and underneath is this beautiful, vibrant green stuff ready to grow again. So how do we bring some spring into our lives? How do we bring that sense of renewal? We could be doing what we love, our passion, our conviction, our purpose, but we need to inject a little spring-type step of renewness in it, a refreshment of sorts. Spring is a time to kind of spring clean, clear out the old, embrace a fresh look on things. It's a good time to actually look and go, you know what? That needs renewal, and that needs reviving. That needs refreshing. Maybe that needs deleting, and new buds need to grow altogether. It's a good time to have a reflection on life, but I'm afraid because it's a short season, it's a time for action as well. You can't dwell on it too long. You see, that's what winter is for. As you come out of winter and you start feeling the snow melt away and the rain, heavy sleet rains subside and those killing winds, and you're out there bundled up and you think, will you ever be warm again? And then that hint of spring starts coming around and you feel a sense of renewal starting up. That's the time to look. What changes do I need to start implementing so that when they step into spring, they can really spring into action? That's why we call it springing into action, right? It's jumping into action because spring is action. everything about spring is renewal, regrowth, reviving, vibrancy of everything anew. How many things are born at this time? Our lambs, our babies, the amount of things and people born at this time is very heavily abundant, partly because that incubation of winter. What else is there to do? And then out comes the spring results of that. But it's also a sense of optimism and enthusiasm of what possibilities lie ahead if we take action. So what's my action? If you have been following me, you'll know that I changed my name from Self-Discovery Radio to Self-Discovery Media, that I've developed a site called selfdiscoverycommunity.org, which is our nonprofit part of the business. It's where we will be doing collaborative books, where we will be inviting fundraisers as sponsors to set forth and help us bring awareness to certain causes and issues and raise money for organizations and people in a redirect of life. It is also where a directory is that we have ignited here, that is both on Self-Discovery Media and on Self-Discovery Community, a business directory that shows your services. So for people who are looking to invest in themselves, that sense of renewal they want to do for themselves, and they're looking for the people that offer those services. And they want an intimate view of this person. They're not just a yellow pages ad or a flash thing on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, that there is something personal behind them. They have a show on their why, the reason why they do what they do, what put them on the path of doing it, why it's so meaningful to them, and who they wish to serve. Then in the directory is exactly what they offer and how they can help you on your journey of life. So that's come into play. And then as the self-discovery community grows and the funding for that grows, it will eventually subsidize the services from the people in the directory for those in a redirect in life that just simply cannot afford to invest in themselves at this time. But a little investment will seed and water them to spring into their own action of becoming who they're meant to be. See, I'm very heavy on the seeding and the watering and the nurturing and seeing what grows. Even a weed has its purpose, but we don't know what beautiful flowers lie in those weeds until we are willing to water and grow and discover. After all, we are self-discovery community and self-discovery media. It is about the discovery of self. And spring is another time for us to actually reflect back on a year. What did I accomplish last year? What did I learn about myself? What did I discover about me that I didn't know a year before? And each time you look at yourself and you go, you know, I never knew I was that strong or that courageous or had that ability, or perhaps I had that sight and that needs to be changed. But the reflection of self is growth. It is always something that's allowing you to propel forward, something for you to grow on. Because if we're not in growth, if we're not steadily moving forward in the frequency, vibration, the fluidity of life, we become stagnant, complacent, stuck, unable to change or move. And we then get cemented, and then we become obsolete. And everything about our lives becomes obsolete with us. That doesn't mean you're not building a foundation. I refer to myself as the willow tree. After all of these years, I am firmly rooted. My roots are reaching out into the matrix of other trees to be a part of this forest. My trunk is solid and sturdy and can withdraw whatever goes at it. But my branches are constantly swaying in the wind, always going with the flow, but never losing itself or its core. What are you? What tree would you be? What flower would you be? If you were to describe your life right now, how would you describe it? Are you flapping in the wind and have no direction to go in? Are you stuck in something that is no longer serving you? Are you in between something, not quite sure which direction to take in or what to nurture? Or are you, having had that discovery, know what you want to do but quite not sure how to do it? Or are you in full force and you're really loving what you do, but you're looking for people to share that with, people to serve? You see, it's time to observe ourselves. Where are we? Why are we here? How did we get here? Where do we wish to go? What can we do or learn or apply to ourselves in order to get there? We can't dictate our path. We can't say it's going to happen like this. Excuse me. We can't say, this is my plan and I must stick to it. The plan is a blueprint of what you would like, but the flexibility of what is given you in the direction you need to go in to achieve what you desire is what you must allow. Because if you don't allow it and you demand that it happens in a certain way, you're not going to get where you need to go. You see, it's understanding you need to root into something, build a strong core, but be flexible to go with that wind. Me know that I really want to help people in this area. I really want to be of service in this arena. I really want to stand for this. That's what you put out there. And then you pay attention to the signs, the things that are presented to you, the things that aren't neon signs, the little hints along the way, the whispers from the heart that guide you, and be willing to explore without understanding where you're going. The why is you're there to learn, to discover, to gather the information that you can apply to that next phase of life, to apply to the dream, to apply to the advancement of what you're already doing. It's that allowing beautiful universal energy to guide you. You've already said what you want to do. And if it's coincided with what you were here to do, what you came to this planet to do, then the wind will be behind you. See, very often we're far too often in our heads. We're thinking it, we're intellectualizing it, we're academicizing it. But when it comes down to it, the soul has the truth. That's where that divine knowledge comes to you. It resonates with the heart. And heart gets the feeling of with it. And it goes into the spirit, into action. And your mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it to apply to that action to make it happen. So all of you need to be in sync into order to move forward very sure-footedly, very progressively, allowing those wings to spread wherever they need to spread, wherever they need to go. But if you're only coming from one part of it, if you're only coming from the heart, without the sensibility of the head, without the connection to the soul, or just in the action of the spirit, but no kind of plan, then you're going to be flapping there. Good intentions, but flapping. If you're coming at it from the head, I must do A, B, C, and D by this age, and ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, you're going to set yourself up for failure and disappointment. But if you say, this is my passion, what I love to do, what fills me the most. When people say, I haven't yet discovered what I want to do, I say, speak to the heart, not the head, the heart. What lifts your heart? What makes you smile? What gives you that warm feeling in your belly? How can you be a part of that? How can you step into that heart with your skills, with your knowledge, and take that into something? Because if it's not heart-based, you will never have a connection to it. If it's not igniting the soul's knowledge, you'll never understand what to do with that heart space. The spirit will never understand how to actually apply it, because spirit works with the mind, with the knowledge. But that knowledge comes from the wisdom of the soul, the wisdom of the heart center that's given to the spirit of action and knows how to use that wisdom and apply it. But if you're looking to do anything in life, come from the heart. Find out what ignites your heart, and then look and explore and see it in water what you could possibly do in that arena from that heart space. I've always loved serving people. I've been a coach, a counselor, I've been a restaurateur, I've owned my own dress store, I've worked with people in need, I've been a dancer, I've worked in the theatre, I've worked in retail, I've worked in many things, but every single thing had a common denominator. Making people happy by switching something on inside of them that gave them joy, or gave them an understanding of self, or that gave them an ignition of that heart in some way. Because that's what I'm here to do, to ignite the heart and souls of people, so they may step into their spirited action, so they may listen to their mind and what they need to know when they need to know it. It's what I've always been here to do since the beginning of my time. And I do it my way, and I've done it many ways. And of course, my way now is through these podcasts here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. The podcasts I do on my own every week, Sara's View of Life, but also the podcasts I do in all the other genres. Everything from our forgotten children, on raising our gifted children, our mental health awareness, your health is your choice, choose positive living, their story matters, our veteran story, the love of music, your central expressions, building your business. I mean, so many genres there. Those are the ones that I do. And I have hosts that do other ones as well. But everything, no matter how diverse the topic is, always comes back to one center. It's your heart in it. Are you doing this from a place of heart? Because if you're doing it from a place of purely capitalization, then you're not serving people. You're capitalizing on people. But if you're doing something from a place of heart that you truly are connected to, that you really are passionate about, then the rewards of that will come to you abundantly and come to you in ways that you did not know. Yes, of course, we need the financial way. We're human. We need the roof over our head, food in our stomach, etc. But the abundance of the heart and the soul and the spirit being connected, and the mind being cohesive with that, being in purpose and making a difference in other people's lives, is truly the gold, the diamond, the nectar of life. But what is your service? Because you are here to serve. We're here to serve each other. I often refer to each one of my shows being an instrument, and we are the orchestra here. Each genre is an orchestra unto itself, and each person that comes under that genre is a different instrument in that orchestra piece, playing something to that particular number, but playing it in a way that resonates out differently. I love people with those instruments of passion and conviction that are there to help others. I love their journey that they've taken to get where they are, to embrace their springs, their summers, the falls, their winters, the ups, their downs. They're willing to take the journey of strife and struggle, but come out with it with passion and love for who they are and what they're doing and their beingness. Because ultimately that is what life's journey is about. Can you step into your beingness? Can you step into something that means so much to you? We want to know we count. We want to know that being here makes a difference. We want to know that we can put a smile on somebody else's face. And you know, that could be the janitor cleaning a building where people take pride working there because the presentation of it is always beautiful and clean and pristine. Whether it's the person that's cooking your lunches at the cafeteria, whether it's somebody doing your laundry, whether it's somebody mowing your lawn, maybe it's somebody doing your accounts, somebody serving you at the cash register, somebody serving you at the coffee. If we all step into pride of what we're doing and how we're doing it, and doing it with cheer, with gratitude, with a sense of love, very spiritedly, we're stepping always into our spring. So I would love you all to take a look at your lives. Go back to last spring. What did you accomplish in this last year? Were you honoring your path? Were you honoring your heart and your soul? Were you spirited in your action to advance your calling into the direction it needs to go in? Or were you stuck in your mind? Did you develop cement shoes? Be honest with yourself. Everything can be changed. Doesn't matter where you're at right now. It's where you're willing to be and what you're willing to do to make the changes necessary. But take a look at your life. Did you get all enthusiastic last spring and then not follow through and you're no further today? Or did you grasp hold of something and you went at it full blast and look where you are today? Or did you start something and then it petered out and you gave up? Or did you start something but yet it took you in a different path altogether that you love? Be honest, this is not a time to beat yourself up. It's not a time to drink your own Kool-Aid. It's not a time to do anything other than reflect. What did I do that propelled me forward or held me back? What can I do differently this spring? What worked? What didn't work? What actions do I need to take? What do I not need to do? And be proactive in your own life. Step into your own spring. Embrace that wonderful summer. Set your fall in the right way that winter will serve you well. It's up to us, no matter what's given to us, no matter if it's a cosmic 2x4 or the rug pulled from underneath us. We can hurt, we can cry, but ultimately we've got to get back up. And if you've heard some of the stories here in Self-Discovery Media of people that have been knocked down, flattened, trod on, but chose to get back up, that chose to take a different path, that chose to stand up and be something despite what happened to them. You can't help but be inspired and look at your own life and believe, if they can, why can't I? We find our strength and our courage through the stories of others, in our self-discovery of how awesome we are, of how incredibly able we are. Then we really step into our beingness, what we're here to do, who we're meant to be, and that love of life that we all seek. So may your spring serve you well. Seed well, water well, nurture well. Enjoy the abundant harvest. Don't forget to seed well for the winter so it will see you through. But be honest with yourself always. Don't beat yourself up. There's no need for forgiveness because you haven't done anything wrong, but maybe you need to have a good pep talk and go, come on, we're better than this. Let's not give up. Let's step up. Let's be all we can be for ourselves so we can be that beacon of light of inspiration for someone else. I wish you all a wonderful, abundant spring. May all the buds of your life bloom. May those beautiful rainbows of life inspire you. May the wind blow away all that does not serve you. And may the sunlight kiss your heart into full bloom. Until next time, folks, I wish all of you a very, very loving day. Bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show and were inspired to come and visit us at selfdiscoverymedia.com and see what other shows we have for you. And please do visit our selfdiscoverycommunity.org and see how you can be a part of giving back. Thank you very much.